Well, it won't be long before signs of the Riverfest celebration will be all but gone down at Riverside Park. Crews started the teardown bright and early this morning after the 3 days of celebration. The fest took a big hit last year from the extreme heat. News 8's Pauline Lee joins us live in the studio with how this year is measuring up.
Well, final numbers aren't in yet, but organizers say they had a good turnout this year. However, it will only help put a dent into making up for last year's losses. As crews pack up Riverside Park,
I look like it's balanced.
Kyle Olson of the Lacrosse JC says cleaning up is a little bit more satisfying this year,
There we go.
knowing thousands turned out for the celebration.
Just the turnout in the first couple nights, we haven't seen crowds like that in several years.
A big change after last year's heat kept the park pretty empty.
It was pretty thin. It was a pretty thin year.
The Lacrosse JCs are just one of several dozen organizations that benefits from the proceeds collected during Riverfest.
A lot of these monies that we get in go to pay our rents, to pay some of our utilities, whether it be phone bill, internet, all that stuff. So that way we can continue to serve the community in other ways.
Last year, Riverfest saw a 40% drop in proceeds because of the extreme heat. While final numbers aren't in yet, Riverfest's media director Nick Bierke says this year was much better.
You know, it was on the edge, I guess you can say. It wasn't a failure by any means. It was a good year for us. But we wanted, this great and awesome year. We're hoping it turned out that way, but we haven't got those numbers in yet.
Even with a good year, Bierke says it may take a few years before they can fully recover from last year's losses. But Olson says this year is giving them a good start.
I think this will be a good rebuilding year, especially after this year.
Now, one thing that did not work in favor of Riverfest was the high river level. Organizers did have to cancel the water ski shows for the first time in as long as they can remember. But they say the other water shows still drew in pretty big crowds.
Thanks, Pauline. Organizers say they should be finished with the cleanup by tomorrow, and final numbers on attendance and proceeds collected should be available in the coming weeks.